Hey y'all, it's Jenny Mosley.
And Dr. Ryan Reeves.
And we are here live with the Elevate Effect. It's time to take the dental field to a whole nother level. Fly with me, folks. Let's get real and let's get uncomfortable.
Do they have the same feeling like you and just don't have the answers? Or do you know dentists that are okay with the model that you would implode in?
I think I know both.
Okay.
I think, well, okay, sorry, analogy. So this is another reason why I know that model won't work for me. I like sports. I played sports growing up. I still play sports. I'm fairly good at most sports. I'm not great at anything. I was never a good sprinter. I can sprint, but I'm not a good sprinter. But I can run. I can run fast.
And he can beat me.
For a long period of time. And there are people that are much better, obviously.
But you do have a pretty good looking stride.
My point is that I would rather run fast for a long time rather than sprint as hard as I possibly can for 50 meters, 60 meters, 120 meters or whatever, right? Or even anyway. So that's because I know once I give it every ounce of myself that I can, whether it's a CrossFit workout or whether it's a sprint, I know that once I do that, I'm going to fall off so much. My performance will fall off so drastically after that I'll be worthless to the team, as an example.
Or even to the patients, but your team.
Yeah, whoever I'm working with.
Whoever you're working with,
right?
Yeah.
Or for, with, whatever. So I just know, I know that about myself, and I see that in really kind of all facets of my life. So why would it be any different in the dental practice?
So if this wasn't an option, would you still be a dentist?
Yeah, I think I would. But I would still, I'd just make less money because I'm just not like you mentioned, how do you establish relationships with all these people when you're having to see this, that many, right? It's just too many for me to connect with at the level I'd like to connect with. And so, and the other piece of that is I can't do my best. I mean, again, can I work on a tooth fast? Yeah, I can do that. Is that going to be my best? No. Now, maybe somebody else who's more of a sprinter can do their best at that speed, but I just know that that's not me. So I know that, I could physically do it, but what am I giving up? Well, I'm giving up patient care, and that's not something I'm willing to do.
Okay. What's the second part?
That I kind of think I kind of all rolled into one.
All three?
Yeah. So one was, yeah.
So basically, because when you go to dental school, the concept is to drill and fill.
Well, you're just learning a skill.
Yeah.
Right. That's it.
Right. And then you got to flourish it however you want. You either keep it in what you do and keep doing that, or you go flourish it in other different areas.
Right.
But deep down in a sense of care, and I'm not saying that dentists don't care, but how do you develop care when you're running, back to back to back to back to back? I've never been in it, so it's hard for me to understand. So I'm trying to get the concept of it. Doesn't sound easier to me.
Yeah. So in summary, my kind of 3 points were, for me, this custom model is just more rewarding. It's more rewarding for the patient. It's more rewarding for me. And I'm not talking financially. I'm just talking emotionally rewarding. Secondly, I know who I am as a person and what I can be successful at and what I know I can't sustain. And so bringing that into the practice, I just have, you have to choose, right? You can't have it all. So you gotta pick.
Well, what's interesting is you either have to, there's a lot of people that guide, like you said, custom model. What is a custom model? I mean, everybody can, that's custom. Some people customize their model around just doing certain types of dentistry. Some people only want to do ortho or whatever it is. And then you take that and you go, okay, if I only want to do that, then I need to market to those people. And so our model, and it doesn't have to be everybody's, but we are in a custom model, but we're in our own custom. Ours is more really about how we practice day to day than the dentistry itself. I mean, yes, we are highly physiologic. We are highly full mouth reconstruction things. But really our main customization is around how we practice day to day, how we meet and train and service people. And so everybody's can be different. So I guess because that's our model, our custom model is having that as number one, it's hard for me to understand how people see that as hard.
Well, maybe we're so used to the visual, and how do you give somebody the visual of that, right? I mean, it's like, okay, well, how do you do it? Okay, show me. Okay, you do this. And that action, that physical action, uh, of working on a tooth versus the physical action of a communication, that communication piece. When are you ever taught that in life ever?
Right.
Right? You either, you don't learn that.
Well, let me ask you, let's use that. So you drew your first tooth you drill on, or the first cleaning I did. I guarantee I poked somebody and I hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you've touched somebody when you first started and hurt them.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what is the difference? It's very frustrating because they can go in there and have a conversation and not do well. But then they're like, I'm not doing that again. But yet you'll keep drilling teeth. You'll keep trying. I'll keep learning how to clean. I mean, it's weird how we cannot connect the communication and the drilling and the scaling.
Maybe people are, maybe they don't understand that just like the dental piece, those learning things is, maybe it's accepted, those learning mistakes, if you will. Maybe that's just kind of in our brain, that's going to happen. It's expected to happen. And the more you practice, the less of that mistake you'll do.
Okay.
No, I get it. I'm saying
I'm
that
a weirdo, but I see that the same thing as a conversation.
No, I appreciate that. And what I'm just saying is I think naturally that's just such a foreign thing to everybody, including myself, because I don't know, because it's something so different.
It's funny. Like I could have a conversation with a dentist and they could say, and say a neuromuscular dentist, I want, I've got a lot of people that I've got in phase one. And then there's this, random patient that I just can't get out of pain. And, they're just going to go ahead and take it off or take off an orthotic or whatever, go backwards. And, I want to say to him, okay, so that means you're going to quit neuromuscular dentistry? Because what is the difference between your team member coming to you and saying, hey, I just tried table talk and it didn't go well. Okay, so we're going to quit. What is the difference? It's so frustrating because here's the thing. I mean, it's like failing people. It's failing people. And it's sad for me. And like I said, I see the demise of very custom dentistry. And I remember it was ICMO, 3 or 4 years ago, and they were having that petition being signed around, or I don't know if it was ICMO or I was in, I might've been in Pittsburgh, either way. And they were talking about having, there's a lot of people that are trying to, take down neuromuscular dentistry, just all this stuff. And, and it's like, we're fighting hard, really hard to do this, to save people and get them out of pain. I don't understand why we don't try and fight as hard to learn how to speak to them and talk to them. Now, I'm not saying that people don't, and I'm the king of speaking. I'm just saying that the communication piece is easily given up, and it's very, very frustrating. As a patient herself, it's frustrating that we don't see those as equal. And it's like you give up on something, but you don't quit dentistry. If you're going to quit dentistry too, period. Just quit it all. And that was the beauty of this. This is, I mean, again, I sent him this email and I said, you are probably one of the best people I've ever known in my entire life, because in your core, I mean, you're better than me, because I can't seem to give it up. I mean, at some point it's going to give, but I look up to you as a person and will forever hold you so close, because you are taking a big leap to say that, for so long you can blame it on this and you can blame it on that. You can blame it on all this stuff, but nobody ever blames it on what's the blame. And it felt so amazing. And I'm really proud of him. And he's probably going to go live an incredible life that all of us can be jealous of. No, but, so I think today it was just like, we got a lot of folks around us that, are going in and out and of, the world, I guess, if you want to call it that. And the inability to stick in with something.
It might be some of it, and I think for me at least, some of that not recognizing kind of that commonality where you're saying, well, you don't quit dentistry. Why would you quit this communication piece or this working towards the style of practice that you want, whatever that looks like? Maybe part of that is because it's much harder to quantify versus a treatment. Like I think we can wrap our brains maybe more around, okay, these are the steps. The end result looks like this. I can visualize what it looks like. I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like. But it's harder to do with, we're talking about communication for communication.
Well, I had a team member who had to have an eye appointment. And she goes to this eye appointment, and the eye appointment was virtual. And now, again, granted, we have a vision. What we do, we're not saying is better than anybody. It just works for us. But we believe in customizing any kind of practice. And so use your own and customize your own and pick it. But for us, the virtual loses for us personally. Our practice is the patient experience. And so for us, that virtual helped, and it did great for many people, it sounds like, for a little bit of time. But for us, it was really sticking to what our vision was. And that was, we don't want to lose that personal experience. And so, she comes to me and she's like, I got to be honest with you. I mean, I am really proud of what I'm a part of, because I'm like, how are you going to check my eyes virtually? It was like this entire version. I'm like, that's where our world is going. We're losing. We are a true legacy. And that's what I'm worrying about. And that's what I want to fight for some of you folks out there. Please do not waver just because it's getting a little difficult. Stick to it, because I promise you, the ones that value your dedication to being patient focused and time focused and sensitive to that, you will win, and you will win bigger. You may not be winning all day, and you may not be fulfilling things. I mean, there are days that go by that we don't have one new patient. That doesn't mean that we're going to go, oh, we better start taking insurance. It means that, okay, what do we have to refine? But for her to come, she was like, Now, would virtual work for many? Probably, because there's a lot of people out there that are probably really busy, can't make an appointment. I mean, I'm probably one of those people that is the hardest patient to have because I can't seem to build enough time for myself. But I still, when I do, I still would pay triple for a hands-on, eye-to-eye, live communicative experience in order to do it. And it was interesting for me because because again, we were talking about this and, we were talking about, and then this quote comes to me and then I'm at this weekend and I'm so frustrated because I can't, the waves that were there were not conducive to what it looked like. And that was so eye-opening to me. And then I come here and we talk about the virtual and it's just, and again, to me, getting more, getting faster, getting more, getting them fast, getting more, getting fast, to me doesn't sound easier. But I guess for some, if their revenue or whatever it is, I guess, like you said, I need to understand the measurement and the metric. If you want to do 25 veneers in a day, then that's your metric. Maybe that's how it works. And I guess that's your own, custom model. But I just wonder if you have a model, if you're that place. I don't know. I just, I thought that, we're going through some things and, we're in this constant conversation and not battle. That's a negative word, but do we battle? Battle in a good way.
I would just call it dialogue.
We dialogue. It's really weird, guys. When he gets in front of this thing, it's like, you're one of these days, we're going to do this at 6:00 at night and we're going to use that cart. We're going to have a real good one.
What's the problem?
There's no problem.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
You said when I get in front of this thing.
No, the word dialogue felt like I've got about 4 Reeves personalities.
Okay.
That is one of them. That's the Mike guy.
The Mike guy.
Yeah. Now, there's a pair of pants that Reeve just got. That's the guy I like. They're like, what's it called?
The same person.
No. What's the name of the leopard or?
It's a tiger.
Tiger
camo.
Camouflage. Tiger camo.
Tiger camouflage.
Yeah. Anyway, that we don't mean to go. That's my fault. But I truly, again, we're sitting here an hour a week getting on these microphones, probably sucking at it, because we truly believe that we are a community of very special dentists, dental practices, dental people. And we want to keep it alive. So can you all please just start talking to us and let's keep this alive and stay custom. Don't waver.
Well, here's something for me that I think about all the time. If you're kind of following a corporate model, and I don't even know what's the model. Just do we say insurance model?
Yeah,
insurance,
I don't know.
Probably. Okay.
Insurance, corporate, same thing.
It's so much harder to differentiate yourself. I mean, more and more people are coming into the profession, not less. Okay. So
they're like CVS's on the corners.
If we're all doing the same thing, why you? Well, I mean, if you do everything like everybody else, is your office prettier? I mean, that only goes so far. I mean, it comes down to convenience. Okay. Well, then, again, if convenience is the most important thing to you, now we might use that to our advantage because there are ways we can make things very convenient for people by doing lots of treatment in a very short amount of time with very few visits. But is that convenience or is convenience for them getting in front of a camera to do a virtual consult or in front of a computer? I mean, I guess what I'm saying is I've always the masses. I don't ever really want to be a part of the masses. And I mean, I am in ways. I guess I'm just.
How can you be a part of the masses when you take all this extra time and money and away from your families, everything? You do all of that to go learn this incredible thing, and then you decide to actually do the opposite.
Well, see, just that alone, right? You've made this person has made a conscious decision to do something different than 90% of dentists out there. But then you're going to try and do that thing in a model. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you're like that as a person, which if you've done all the stuff like we've done, then you've invested, like you said, you've invested so much that to me, it's a complete disconnect to try and then do that type of dentistry, which you're clearly passionate about, or else you wouldn't put all that effort into it and try and jam it into a model that is rejecting that type of treatment. I mean, right? The general, the masses of dentists believe kind of non-physiologic stuff, and they have their own way of doing things, and they've got successes and stuff, and that's all fine. But if you're one like us that has gone on this physiologic pathway, I'm just repeating myself. It's such a huge disconnect to me.
Well, that's the hard part for me, and that's like this year has been so frustrating because you decide to do a specialty type thing, and you decide to truly work at it and become it, and you are not doing it. Why choose what I want to get in the psyche of the brain, cut it open. I want to see what is it that makes the decision to actually not do it and stick it in an insurance type model. That's I'm with you. That's I just don't understand.
Well, I think that individual conversation should happen, and it's you might not have an answer right away, but I think the key to the success and moving forward is figuring out that answer. Because if that answer is, well, I just thought it'd be cool, well, then, yeah, you should just stick with what you're doing, right? If the answer was, no, I just believe there's a better way to do things. And then I believe that applies not just to the technical part, but to the practice and to the team and to everything around that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. And you guys are better. You're better than the typical dentist out there. So let's figure out how to do it more. Don't go backwards. Just because the world is weird right now and things are weird, don't waste your your skill that you worked really hard to become good at that a lot of people can't do. Don't ruin that by mixing it in with something that doesn't even appreciate it. Here's to flying, folks.
Yep. Talk to you later.
You better call us or do something, because, I mean, this is wasteful if you don't.
Cheers.